Hello students, welcome back in this lecture. So in the previous class we were left with one topic, that was addition of vector by geometrical method, and in this we have three types. First one is triangle law of vector addition, second is parallelogram law of vector addition, and third is polygon law of vector addition. So as I told you that in vectors we can't follow the basic mathematical rule. So for this we have a separate vector algebra law. So suppose a person is suppose this is your box and this is a 5 kg bar on it, and suppose this is the thing that is 10 kg. So now what will be the total weight of the box? Now you will say that sir, it will be 5 plus 10, that is 15. That is right. But now suppose this is a body and someone is putting force in this direction, and that is 10 Newton, and someone is putting force in this direction, that is 9 Newton. Now we know that we can't add this both, like 9 plus 10 and 19. So that will be wrong. The answer will be wrong because here we have direction also, so we can't perform this simple algebra law. So for this we have a separate algebra law of vector addition. So now let's discuss with the first one. The first one, that is a triangle law of vector algebra. Triangle law of vector algebra. Now suppose we have two vector, one is A vector and another one is B vector. Now one important thing is that you can move this vector, but you can't change its direction and its magnitude. I mean to say that if you want to add these vectors, or even let's suppose this is your vector B, so you can move it in any direction, and suppose this is your vector A, so you can move this in any direction, but the direction of your vector will remain same, and also its magnitude will remain same. You can shift in either direction, you can shift it over there, you can shift it over there, on downside, on upside, but its direction should remain same. If you are shifting it there, so it will be like this, and even if you are shifting it there, so its direction will remain same and magnitude also, so it will be like this. So you can shift your vectors, but their magnitude and direction should be same. Now let's talk about the triangle law of vector algebra. Suppose you have these two vectors. So what I told you, you have to shift these vectors. So here is your vector A. So what we have to do, we have to just connect the second vector with the head of your first vector. So this is the head of your first vector, so you have to connect this vector as I shown you. So you have to connect this vector like this, and now we want the direction of this vector. So what you have to do, you have to connect the initial point, or you can see the tail of your first vector with the head of your second vector, and their direction, as we know that it is moving from here to here, so its direction is this. So that is basically your result, and this result is known as the resultant, that is represented by R. So resultant will be vector A plus vector B. So that is the triangle law of vector algebra. I hope you understand all the things that I explained you. Now next one is parallelogram law of vector addition. Second is parallelogram law of vector addition. So it is basically the same as the triangle law of vector addition, just they extend their side. So let's us understand. Suppose these are your two vectors, that is your vector A and that is your vector B. Now this is the adjacent side of parallelogram. I am extending it. Now this is your parallelogram, and these both are their adjacent side. So the resultant of these will be the diagonal of your parallelogram, that is the diagonal. So the resultant will be the diagonal of your parallelogram of that adjacent side. Even here we are taking the adjacent side, these two, but if we take these adjacent side, then the resultant will be this. So basically this is the extension of your triangle law. Now suppose what we have discussed in triangle law. In triangle law we have that is vector A and that is your vector B. And what we have done, we have just connect this, and that was your resultant. We did same in this because we know that parallelogram have same side. That is, if here is your side A, then here it is also your side A, and if here it is side B, then here also it is side B. So now what you are notice that A and B and the resultant is this. So thing is same, just their explanation is different, but the thing is almost same. Now third one is polygon law of vector algebra. So in polygon law, what is the concept of connecting the vectors? Suppose this is the first one, so that is your vector A, this is your vector B, this is your vector C. So what we have to do, we have to just connect the initial point or tail of the first vector to the head of your last vector. So that will your resultant, that is A plus B plus C. So that is the polygon law of vector algebra. Now let's take one more example. That is your vector A, B, C, D. Now the resultant of this vector will be 0 because their direction are the upward side, and this will be the negative direction, so their resultant will be 0. So that is the basically polygon law of vector algebra, in which we are explaining you with the help of geometrical method. In this what we have to do, what we have to do, we just have to take the pencil and scale and draw the sides, or you can say shape, with the help of pencil and scale, and through this we can done the addition of vector algebra by geometrical method. But in the 99% cases we have to use the analytical method of vector algebra, that is with the help of some geometrical rules and some algebraic rules we have to solve the analytic method. So let's move to the analytic method. Now here first of all we are going to discuss about the triangle law of vector algebra. Now what we have discussed that that was your vector A, and that was your vector B, and that was its resultant, that is equal to vector A plus vector B. Now let's suppose this is the angle between them, that is I am taking alpha, and now I am drawing a perpendicular, that is MN, and suppose this is your point P, this is Q, and the angle between them is theta. I am clear with the diagram. Now we are taking the small triangle first, that is MQN. So in triangle MQN, your sin theta will be, what is sin theta? Perpendicular by hypotenuse. So perpendicular is MN and hypotenuse is QM, that is basically your B, that is your basically vector B. So we have find the value of MN. MN is B sin theta, and from this vector we will also find the cos theta. So what is cos theta? Cos theta is base by hypotenuse, that is QN by B. So QN will be B cos theta. So that is your equation first and that is your equation second. Now we are clear with the triangle MQN. Now we are taking triangle MPN. In triangle MPN, we are proceeding with the Pythagoras theorem. So according to the Pythagoras, PM square, what is the Pythagoras theorem? That is square of the hypotenuse is equal to square of the base plus the square of the perpendicular, or you can say length. So the hypotenuse is PM, that is PM square, and base is PN, that is PN square, and length is MN, so it's MN square. Now we can write PN is PQ plus, if I am writing vector A is basically, so if I am writing only A, that means that is the magnitude of that vector. Pn square is equal to Pn square plus Mn square, and we know that Pn is equal to Pq plus Qn. We can write Pq plus Qn. So Pm square is equal to Pn, that is Pq plus Qn square and Mn square. Now we can apply the formula a plus b whole square. So a square, that is Pq square, plus b square, that is Qn square, plus 2ab. So 2 Pq dot Qn plus Mn square. So Pq square is your, Pq is basically your vector A. So we can write a square, and we know Qn is your in this triangle Qn is your this, and Mn square, Mn is your this. So if we talk about this triangle, so Qn plus Mn square is basically your mq square according to Pythagoras theorem, and that is basically your b. So we can write this b square, 2 Pq and Qn. Pq is your a, so 2a, and Qn we find out b cos theta, so we can write b cos theta. So what is the final equation? A square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta and under root. So that is basically their resultant, that is r. So we are getting r is a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Now you will say that, sir, we are left with the direction. So for direction we are taking this angle, that is alpha. Okay, so for this what will be tan alpha? So tan alpha will be, what is the formula of tan? So tan alpha is your basically perpendicular by base. So here perpendicular is Mn, so that is Mn, and base is Pn, and we know Mn is your b sin theta, so we can replace it with b sin theta, and Pn we know Pq plus Qn, we can write Pq plus Qn, and Pq we know Pq is your a, and your Qn is b cos theta. So your angle will be tan inverse b sin theta plus a plus b cos theta. So these are the, this is your angle and this is your magnitude. So in the analytic method we solve it with some mathematical rules, and with the help of trigonometry we find out the resultant and angle of the your triangle. Now let's talk about its application, where we can use it, real life application. Now suppose this is your bird, I am making it like this. So what bird is just move his wings. So when it move its wing, it's applying force in the downward direction. So what will the resultant? So according to it, the resultant will be in upward direction. So that's why your birds will fly. And one more example, if we talk in shooting, what we do, we just stretch this string, and after stretching string, what will happen, your arrow will be going this direction, because we are applying force over there. So that's why it's move in this direction. So that is the real life example of the triangle law.